Got another Texans mock draft coming up right now, guys. Cue the intro. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new episode of The Lead. Your host is always Harley Dugan. Yeah, we are going with mock draft 2.0. This time, we're just going into 4 rounds. So we're ending it right at 108. Understand that the Texans did trade up into the 5th round with the New England Patriots, moving their 6th and 7th, going up to the 5th round. To me, that's just a small dub of a trade. You enter yourself into the 5th round, and you could possibly grab somebody there that is absolutely more valuable than a pick at 245. So without further ado, let's get into this. So with the 3rd pick in the NFL draft, the Houston Texans select Kayvon Thibodeaux, edge out of Oregon. And look, Kayvon Thibodeaux has a lot of the troubles apparently with the work ethic, with how he looks, with how he portrays himself in front of media or cameras, And I will say this, Detroit Lions were ready to interview him, and he did his workout and then just walked out. They didn't even know where he went and couldn't find him. And they were pretty displeased on that. So don't expect the Detroit Lions to take Kayvon Thibodeaux at 2. I just don't see that happening. But the Houston Texans, I see them taking Kayvon Thibodeaux. I would like them to take Kayvon Thibodeaux. I don't think it's as realistic as I hope it could be. I think a lot of it's been overplayed that this guy just coming into this year was the number one guy, the number one edge guy at one point. And I just think some of the criticism has been overplayed at some point. I really think Kayvon Thibodeaux is going to be a really good player in the league. He just cares about his brand, apparently. And look, I understand, well, we've had someone like that and we had to get rid of him. Look, I can't see that happening again. And with Kayvon Thibodeaux, I just believe that the talent outweighs whatever character issue is there. At 3, this is a absolute steal because to me, this should have been the clear-cut guy at number 1. 2nd pick in the 1st round, 13. With the 13th pick in the NFL draft, the Houston Texans select Devin Lloyd, linebacker out of Utah. And look, I'm trying to do something a little different. I want to showcase some more players as well, but without reaching. To me, we don't need to reach, and Devin Lloyd isn't a reach at 13. To me, this is a steal. Devin Lloyd is an absolute baller coming out of Utah, a leader on that defense, a guy that doesn't get enough credit like Nakobe Dean did because we saw him on television for so much. We saw him in the playoff games and how he was a leader and how he would yell at players and tell them what to do. Devin Lloyd does the same thing. It's just at Utah, they don't play their games till 9:30 at night, So Devin Lloyd is an absolute beast. Outside linebacker, can fit the 4-3 scheme well, can adapt to a 3-4, but 4-3 to me is more of his bread and butter. Solid in pass coverage, 6'3", 237. He's a thumper. He gets downhill, takes out running backs, really good tackling machine. He was up there, I believe he led the nation in tackles for losses. Devin Lloyd would be a stud pick at 13. Going into the 2nd round with the 37th pick in the NFL draft, the Houston Texans select Jaquan Brisker, safety out of Penn State. This is a really, really fun prospect to look at. And if Kyle Hamilton isn't or in the draft as the safety, like he is head and shoulders above everybody else, but Brisker is also, to me, head and shoulders above the rest of the safeties, excluding Kyle Hamilton, of course. Brisker, 6'1", 200, nice height, weight, can do a multitude of everything and was a leader on that Penn State defense. He had some crazy athletic numbers, scored relatively high on the RES, the relative athletic score, did very well with that. I mean, extremely well, and would fit this system very well. Zone coverage heavy. That's what he plans on doing in the Penn State. That's what we do with the Texans. This just seems like a fit, and Brisker at 37 with the Texans going to Penn State's pro day. That to me could hopefully ensure that the Houston Texans looked at Brisker and view him as an option here at 37. Okay, going into the next pick in the draft, 68. So with the 68 pick in the NFL draft, the Houston Texans select Cole Strange, interior lineman out of Chattanooga. And everybody just went, Chattanooga? Look, Chattanooga, I get it. It's a small school, and Cody had harped on Cole Strange on one of his mock drafts before. And at 68, I think Cole Strange is starting to climb up the rankings a little bit. Is this a little bit of a reach? A small reach, but it isn't anything out of this world. Cole Strange is a very good guard, though. Played both guard positions, played them extremely well. And to me, this is a safe pick. This is a guy that for sure is going to be a good guard in the NFL. I don't care about small school. Does not matter. Ollie Marpet, who came out of whatever school he came out of, was an absolute beast of a guard for the Buccaneers. Yes, he did retire because of his own personal reasons, but Cole Strange is an absolute stud, played both guard positions extremely well, has really good hands, strong at the point of attack. He can do a little bit of everything for you. Pass protection, run blocker would fit this scheme. If it's Pep Hamilton's power run scheme, then he should fit the scheme well. He did have some experience at hiking, so being a center could be somewhere in his viewpoint if the Texans want to look at him that way, but ultimately I believe guard is the best position for him in the NFL. Next pick is 80. So with the 80th pick in the NFL draft, the Houston Texans select Daley Robinson, wide receiver out of Kentucky. And I think it is it's very necessary that the Texans draft a wide receiver. They don't have to go early on it. I understand the love for Jameson Williams at 13. I understand the report earlier with Garrett Wilson getting some love with the Texans at 3, which I don't believe. I just think it's an agent thing. He must have got some really good connections to get up there. But at 13, I understand the Jameson Williams hype. Jameson Williams is the dude. But Daley Robinson might be one of the best playmakers in this draft. And you getting him at 80 is a steal. Daley Robinson, when he gets the ball in his hands, watch out, because his the rack, what he does is absolutely insane. When he has the ball in his hands, he is explosive. One of the most explosive players in this draft, and you getting him at 80 is a steal. This is going to showcase how well Pep Hamilton is as an offensive play caller, because if he can utilize Daley Robinson the way Kentucky did in their offense, you got yourself an absolute stud who can do it all. He was a former running back, transition to wide receiver, did amazing things, and is just extremely explosive. His release and get off speed as soon as the ball is hiked is insane. This dude is legit. Yes, he's 5'10", he's 180. Yes, he's small, but when the ball is in his hands, I am telling you, this guy is electric. Back-to-back picks in the 4th round. Starting with the first one at 107, we got Brian Robinson Jr., running back out of Alabama. And look, guys, Brian Robinson Jr., I have harped on him before in some videos, but to me, he's an absolute unit. 6'2", 225, not a lot of tread on the tires. I've mentioned him before. He was behind the Damian Harrises and the Josh Jacobs and Bo Scarborough and Najee Harris. Like, he didn't have no tread on his tires whatsoever. But when he had the opportunity to step in, he took full advantage of it and showcased what he could be when given opportunity. Brian Robinson Jr. is a force, and to me, building the offensive line, you have 2 bookend tackles, you have a veteran center in Justin Britt, you draft a guy like Cole Strange, who I think could be a day 1 starter for you, if not a starter somewhere through the middle of the season. That's going to be an upgrade. You signed AJ Cann, you have Max Sharping, who to me could be a really good depth piece at the end of the day. But Brian Robinson Jr. running behind a hopeful improved offensive line, it scares me. It would scare me. 6'2", 225 running downhill is absolutely scary. And to me, to have him at 107, there's plenty of running backs down here in the 4th round. You don't have to reach and go get a Breece Hall or a Kenneth Walker. You don't have to do that. Just because you need a position doesn't mean you reach for one and grab it at 37, let's say. We're not going to do that. I would be very upset if the Texans take a running back at that time. Extremely. You got guys like who I just mentioned, Brian Robinson, Zamir White. You got a James Cook who's getting a lot of praise lately. These are a few guys the Texans could look at later in the draft. I'm picking Brian Robinson because roll tide. Sticking with the Alabama theme, with the next pick, the 108th pick in the NFL draft, the Houston Texans select Phidarian Mathis, defensive lineman out of Alabama. Now, a lot of people are going to be like, whoa, dude, you take a defensive lineman? Yeah, I did at 108 because Phidarian Mathis, no, he is not as reached. I think he's just right there in the right round. And he's very versatile for Alabama. He played inside a lot, and he's going to be an interior defensive lineman. But I just believe that he has all the tools to be something special in this league. He has a little bit of everything. He's a damn good run stuffer inside. He can pass rush as well. And I am going to key on to the fact that Lovie Smith has improved defensive linemen everywhere he's gone. Where he did it with the Chicago Bears and Henry Melton, got him a big old contract where he even followed Lovie Smith with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. To me, Lovie has a really good history of improving defensive linemen, and I think Phidarian Mathis being a rookie, we saw what Roy Lopez did. Roy Lopez was a very good, very solid draft pick in the 6th round, did amazing things for you. And I think Phidarian Mathis doesn't have the same skill set as him, more of someone like a Malik Collins, but can stuff the run. And I think that is something you are really needing in the defensive line position. You just got to influx the defense right now with youth and talent. And I know they have Ross Blacklock as well, but Nick Caserio did not draft Ross Blacklock. He is not a Nick Caserio guy. So at the end of the day, he has no loyalty. He has nothing attached to Ross Blacklock. And to me, Phidarian Mathis, who is a former 5-star recruit coming out of high school, had 9.5 sacks in 2021. The dude is legit, long arms, explosive, and at 6'4", 300, it's nice size. To me, this is something that could be probably one of your best picks in this draft. Phidarian Mathis is very underrated, and I think could be another steal for you in the 4th round. So that's it for today's video, guys. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell for the notice to turn on. Drop your comments, your reactions down below in the comment section. Let me know, what do you think about this mock draft? Again, we only went up to the 4th round. I understand the Texans traded up and got a 5th round pick. That's not updated yet in the draft network. So we're not going to be able to do that quite yet unless I could just do a make-believe who's there at 170, which could be fun. But we're just going to do it up to 108. That's as long as we're going to go. Make sure to drop your comments down below on this mock draft. Who do you take at 3? Who do you take at 13? What is your mock draft? Make sure to drop it down below. You know I'll reply. As always, guys, go Astros, go Rockets, go Texans. You have a blessed day.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.